Nation, welcome to another edition of the Bobcat Blitz Sports Update. I'm Sean Kirkpatrick. I am coming to you live from City Green here at City Hall. We're going to get to the reason why in just a moment on that. But joining us live, as always, from our StreamYard studio, we got Mr. John Rawlings. John, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Sean?
Doing good. Beautiful evening out here. I was telling you off camera, I haven't been down here since the parade. I haven't seen the lights and all. It's actually a really beautiful night here. A lot going on. We got our special medical correspondent on tonight. Miss Olivia's back. I'm going to start calling her the Dr. Sanjay Gupta of the Bobcat Blitz. We're going to get her going here.
I love it.
You like that? Back by popular demand. Very, very well received her last episode back in September. We invited her back on to do another episode of our teen health series. Before we get to that, though, John, I did want to give a shout out to our competitive cheer team. I just got the results. They went over to, I want to say, FAU, that area. Their regionals, they're going on to states. That's right. They qualified to go to, it's going to be nationals. They're going to nationals in Disney World pretty soon. So congratulations, Coach Brantley. Great job on that. They actually have two divisions. That's their national division. They're moving on. Their FHSAA division, they'll start doing that later on in January. We're going to have her on the show in January. I reached out to her today. She's going to help us out. I don't have the results from wrestling. So much going on with soccer and basketball. I can't keep up with it. So, you know how that goes this time of the year. They're just rolling nonstop after each other. All right. Real quick here. Way back in September, we invited Miss Olivia on. I'm going to have her on in just a second here. We brought her on for Suicide Prevention Week. She was getting ready for her own special event out in Chicago. I'll let her tell us all about it. So, Olivia, if you're on, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi,
guys. Go ahead and introduce yourself to
you.
those who didn't see you in September. Who are you? What you doing? All that good stuff for us.
So my name is Olivia Bonavento. I am a registered nurse who is actually currently going for her doctorate in pediatric nurse practitioner. I am also an avid marathon runner who just qualified for the Boston Marathon in Chicago. Sean mentioned that. So I will be going to Boston in April of 2026. I unfortunately missed the cutoff for 2025. But that's okay. And I'm also the race director of the Move Mountains 5K, which will actually take place right on the City Green where Sean is standing in about 3 weeks on January 12th, 2025.
Wow.
So Olivia, real quick on your marathon, didn't you tie that in with suicide prevention? I believe your cause was?
I did, yes. So my marathon cause, I love to run for charity, even though I have gotten the wonderful blessing of being able to go for time. I normally can get in for time. I love to raise money for causes when I run. It's something I'm really passionate about. So suicide prevention is really close to my heart. So I did actually raise $3,000 for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention for the October Chicago Marathon.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Big difference between a marathon and our little 5K here. And I lashed on you guys I'd say about half a year ago when I first met Miss Nappy with her Move Mountains organization. Yes. I didn't know at the time that we had a lot of students from Northport High School helping out, a lot of our student athletes as well. I just love your organization. Why don't you give us a quick intro on what is Move Mountains before we get to the race itself? What is that organization all about?
So Move Mountains was created by Nicole Nappy, I believe in 2019. She has 4 wonderful kids. And she realized when she was trying to bring her children to communities, areas to volunteer, a lot of people were telling her that they were too young. And that was something that really didn't sit right with Nicole because she just wanted her children to be able to integrate themselves into the community. And her husband really wanted to show them the value of giving back. So she created a foundation herself that promotes the youth in our community to give back. From going to the Northport Pines, they actually had a senior prom for the Northport Pines, which was really awesome. They go to Rescue Garage and help with the animal shelter. They also are actually doing a beautiful Christmas distribution for children in need in the community as well. So Move Mountains really does have a very profound impact on the Northport community, and I'm very honored to be a part of it.
You know, Olivia, since September, they're also helping out with hurricane relief quite a bit. They're feeding linemen, the linesmen. They were doing cleanup. So a lot of great things out there. You spoke off camera how you would like to see more youth involved in this upcoming 5K. What's going on with this 5K? Why don't you walk us through that too?
So the Move Mountains 5K, as a runner myself, I offered to kind of take this for Nicole and make it an event. And I'm really excited with the progress that it's made. The 5K will be at the City Green, as I said before, on January 12th. And we're going to have a bounce house for the kids, popcorn, ice cream. It's going to be a really, really fun event with vendors and, of course, a great run. But the biggest thing is that the Move Mountains 5K, our cause is about kids. And, a lot of our running community around here is adults. And I just urge anyone who's watching this podcast, if you have a child that likes to run, if you have a kid that likes to walk, if you have a family that likes to run and walk, you can bring your dogs. We welcome strollers. We just want the whole community to come together and make this an annual event that is really a staple here. That's really our biggest.
That's important you said about the dogs and the strollers, because you're right. A lot of this area, the runners are my age and older.
Yes.
A lot of times they restrict what you can and cannot bring onto the race courses. So it's more like a family fun run.
Yes.
You'll still have, I'm sure, first through third prizes and all that. But
Really we have overall. Yes, we have overall prizes. I do have the list of people signed up, so there will be some healthy competition there. We do have some cross-country kids signed up from Northport High School, from Charlotte High School. Yep. We also have a really talented running family signed up that I will not say their name, but if they watch this, they know who they are. So there's definitely going to be a lot of great competition as well. It will definitely be a very worthwhile race for everyone.
Olivia, since you're the director, I've always wanted to throw this idea out there. Since it's the first time ever, and it's a family fun run, have you thought about doing a last place trophy? They never give them out, and I thought it was the nicest thing ever.
I think that's a great. Believe it or not, I kind of find that great, and that's a very.
I do too. So think about it. Talk to your directors.
I might have to swing that by Nicole Nappy and see what she thinks.
That way, that's the worst walking in there. So that's too funny. Now.
Yes, it would be a
the 5K here. I was telling other people around, when I first came to Northport, we had a lot more of these events on the other side near Toledo Blade as well.
Yeah.
But over the last couple of years, it's really gone over to Welland Park. And I'm not going to bash Welland Park, but to have a race here in Northport, the heart of Northport, we have the Remember the Fall in September, exact same location. But there really aren't that many. So I'm so excited that you guys decided to pick this venue here. Why did you pick this venue? I'm just curious. Was there a planning reason for this? Did City Hall step up and help out? Do you have any things on that?
So I picked this venue for a few reasons. Number one, it's very centrally located in Northport. Everybody can kind of get to this venue within 10 to 15 minutes, anywhere that they are in Northport, which makes it really accessible to our population. Number two, Nicole and I were really all about community when choosing this location. And since we are a Northport-based organization, we thought that it would make the most sense to be in Northport. And the green has ample opportunities for us to have vendors, for us to have food trucks, for us to have things like there's a lot of room, to make it really a monumental event. So that's really why we picked it.
And then you said something about City Hall, I believe. You mentioned something about that, the county commissioner.
So Nicole and I actually sat in front of the commissioners last week and proposed city event assistance, which was a very big deal for us to get a unanimous acceptance on that, because that really means that the city supports us and they see what our vision is for this race, and they are excited to help us create this race and have it be an annual community staple in Northport. So we're very excited and we thank them sincerely for their support.
Let's get them out here in the race. Let's get them out here.
I would love it. It would be great.
They could be our grand marshals or whatever. I'll definitely be there. I'm going to be there. I'm actually in the race, which is going to be, if y'all want some comedy or tragedy, depends how you look at it. You watch Sean Kirkpatrick run a 5K. It's I can't tell if it's a Greek tragedy or a comedy. It's probably both at the same time, but I'm going to have fun doing it. I can't wait. So we brought you on not only just for the 5K. We'll come back to the 5K at the end of the episode here. Talk about movement and youth. Yes. You picked a very interesting topic this time around because we're going into the holiday season. Yes. Of course, we all know about the famous everybody's eating way too many calories that we should be. And then there's that fine balance between overeating for the fun of the holidays versus what you're going to present today. What's our topic today, Miss Olivia? What do you have for us?
So when we were discussing topics, Sean, I know that we went through a few that I would possibly talk about today, but our topic today is body image and eating disorders, particularly in our athletic population.
Right.
Just before I came on, I just made sure to have some very accurate statistics for the show so everybody can kind of understand the gravity of eating disorders in our youth and really what we can do about it. So one of the biggest things that really just doesn't baffle me, but it upsets me as a practitioner is that about 60% of the youth population will experience some sort of eating disorder or body image issue before they turn 18. And in the athletic population, so let's just separate it for a minute. The youth population is 60. Athletic population is actually 85%.
Whoa.
So it is a very, very giant number, with the 3 top sports associated with eating disorders, believe it or not, being running, wrestling, and gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
85%. My goodness.
I think that has a lot to do with social media as well. I was going to bring that up. I think that the biggest thing that our youth has going against them in society is that comparison game on social media. They are constantly being exposed to the ideal body type, and that's damaging for young girls, for young men, when they see the physique of a boy going to the gym and they want to look like them. It's really all the comparison game, unfortunately, and social media has heavily contributed to that.
Do you see any of this in your practice at all? Or
I do. I just currently started working in the pediatric realm. I worked in adult health for 4 years, and I did see that. I did, but you definitely see it more as you're doing more of the depression screening in the young adult population, like 11 to 16. You see the growth charts, because as pediatric practitioners, we base all of our growth parameters on the growth charts. And sometimes you see a kid go like this very slowly as they go through puberty. And, you have to be very careful about what kind of conversation you're having, not only with them, but having with their parents as well.
Olivia, growing up as a high schooler in the 80s, they would every now and then they throw on. We had terrible 80s sitcoms and all that. They throw like a serious episode on every now and then, and one of the characters was bulimic, and one had I forgot the other one. They'd show all the time. But the last couple of decades, I don't really see too much on the show anymore. It's almost like they've kind of glossed over that. Do you see a danger in not having that exposure like they used to have, or those eating disorders?
It's so interesting because I feel like we've kind of switched it, believe it or not. So I agree with you. When I look at like the older shows, like Full House, I remember there was
like those things. Right.
Full House, there was an episode. Now, believe it or not, I kind of feel as if TV shows and movies are kind of going more towards anxiety and panic disorder, which is also very valid and also needs to be spoken about. I think every aspect of a child's mental health needs to be spoken about. However, I don't think that the eating disorders, body image, I don't really think it has the adequate representation that it used to have anymore. I do agree.
Well, John, I remember Karen Carpenter was so famous for going through, I think she was anorexic, and it ended up causing her early demise, I believe. So that was fresh going into my middle and high school years. Someone like that. We had characters like that. Like people back then, the Hollywood image was super skinny.
Oh yeah.
At least now people, they're a little bit more body. I know it's still unrealistic in Hollywood now, but boy, back in those days, it was super thin people. Like,
oh yeah, no.
How do you get that thin?
Definitely has gotten better, but it hasn't completely alleviated as of yet. No.
Well,
so we're going into the holidays. What would you recommend for parents who are watching? Because again, we're talking about a lot of eating, and we know this is really bad. It's a tough time for the teenagers who are trying to hide the bulimia and the anorexia from their families. What signals should they be looking for in something like this?
So, are you referring to advice on how do parents handle if they see, or what?
Sure, both. What to look for, things like that. The teeth and the go to the bathroom a lot. And
yes, I was going to say. So, one of the most trademark symptoms of any bulimic disorder, purging disorder, is decay of teeth, breath that does not smell up to standard per se, children going to the bathroom or bolting to the bathroom right after a meal, or a child eating an exorbitant amount of food at once after not eating all day. That's a very, very big sign. And then anorexia, there's a lot of kind of, they move their food around on the plate to make it look like they're eating it, but they're not. A lot of baggy clothes, very sudden weight loss. But again, the anorexic symptoms, I believe, are actually much more easy to catch.
Yeah.
The bulimic symptoms are definitely a little bit more difficult.
Right. I bet the numbers have shifted over. Got a question for you real quick. We're going to go back a little bit here. The pediatric age brackets, the height, weight, age thing. Explain that again for everybody. They might not quite know what that is. There's different quartiles and things like that.
Yeah, of course. So from the moment that your child is born, we essentially give them a growth chart. And originally that shows a child's height, weight, and head circumference. And it just shows, are they average? Are they above average? Are they below average? Are we concerned if a child is not gaining enough weight within a month of birth? All of that. But then as we get to like the 2 to 3 year old population, then it gets into height, weight, and BMI, which is the body mass index, which a lot of people are familiar with. It classifies you as normal weight, overweight, obese, morbidly obese, and then obviously very underweight. So once the child gets to the age of 13 or 14, the BMI kind of shifts away from the percentiles, because when they're children, we see, okay, from the 5th to the 85th percentile, that's healthy. Anything below that, anything above that, we have a problem. But then as we're getting into the teenage years, it starts being an actual number. Anything under 18, you're concerned. Anything over 25, you're concerned. 18 to 25, beautiful. And a lot of kids also have a struggle with the BMI because, there's a lot of kids who have a lot of muscle that are athletes.
Right.
And sometimes muscle weighs more than fat. So their BMI might indicate that they're quote unquote overweight, but they're not. So that also causes some disruption in a teenager's psyche as well.
That's interesting you say that. I remember growing up, I first heard of BMI when, because we didn't have the internet, obviously. We had magazines and things like that. I get these weightlifting magazines. I was super scrawny as a kid. I graduated. I was 170 pounds when I graduated. Now,
oh my goodness,
a lot more than that. But I remember my first definition of BMI. I was looking at a magazine, Arnold Schwarzenegger, 6'2", 6'3", enormous. But his BMI was super high because of his immense muscle mass. But he was one of the healthiest. Yep. But again, they had steroids and different kind of nutrition and all that. So let's flip it around from the girls to the guys. That's interesting you bring that up, how the guys. Of course, I think of wrestling. I was joking on our wrestling episode about how I watch these guys cutting weight all the time. Supposed to be going down. But what are you seeing on the guys' side? Are they packing in the wrong nutrition? Are they eating too much protein? What kind of things are you seeing there?
For me, I personally have a cousin who doesn't only wrestle, but also does Taekwondo. So I have kind of seen the weight cutting from both sides of the equation. And it's a hard thing for me to conceptualize. I support everyone in whatever sport they would like to pursue, but it's very hard to watch young men also go through similar things. The cutting weight for wrestling or Taekwondo or any of those weight cutting sports, it's problematic sometimes in the sense that a lot of these boys actually lose their strength when they lose the weight.
Right.
Because they're completely.
What age group are you starting to see these issues starting up? In your either literature or the experience, like what age group do you start to really notice?
So
kick in? Middle schools.
Literature would say like 12. My experience would say younger. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I do believe it.
The biggest thing that I think about young men is they've kind of been primed to not express emotion or concern about things of that nature, while girls have always been kind of taught to be a little bit more vocal and emotional with things like that. So I think that at times it's actually more hidden from a male perspective than a female perspective.
Or there's just this macho mentality where I've got to get more muscle on me. I got to cut carbs and shred my carbs and get rid of my fat. And it's almost like it's more encouraged, actually. Like, these guys that bulk up on protein powders and creatine supplements that may or may not work. And,
absolutely. There's so much available now as opposed to like years ago. Like they have the creatine, they've got all these supplements, they have all of the protein powders, they have pre-workout, like you name it, they have it, and it's also kind of fun for the boys too. I hate to say it, like to try the new pre-workouts, to see what flavors they like, to see which one gives them the pump. Like, it's something that they all bond over, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, no, I saw it with a teacher. You know, going back to show my age, I actually had, I wouldn't say good friends, but I had friends back in the 80s. They would actually use anabolic steroids.
Oh, wow.
Back when, yeah, you could still kind of get it. It's kind of not illegal just yet. They weren't really testing in the high school setting,
Oh, my
but it's
goodness.
starting to get there. But yeah, I remember those days that they were still there. And I would joke with the students I had years ago about, what's that creatine? Is it really going to help you? Would a better balanced nutritional diet be better? More, they all were looking for that quick little boost, either psychologically or physically. But how would you recommend these athletes? Let's say they do have concerns about their diet and their nutrition and their cutting weight. I don't know who would they even reach out to. I mean, I guess their coaches or their healthcare professional. What kind of avenues would you recommend? Or even if it's anonymous, maybe they have anonymous questions. Are there resources online? I'm assuming there are.
I actually, believe it or not, besides like the NEDA, which is the National Eating Disorder Association, I don't really know of many resources, which is unfortunate. I obviously am someone who always wants a child to feel comfortable enough to go to their parents and communicate. That's something that I'm a very big supporter of, So obviously, you go to your parents, you express that, but a lot of children don't have that option. A lot of children don't have that comfort of a parent that is supportive and will listen to them. So a counselor, a coach, everyone has someone in their lives that they at least feel as if they can talk to some magnitude. But of course, from a professional perspective, I would say probably if they have a coach, ask them about a dietitian, ask them about a personal trainer, like talk to their coach about their concerns, especially if it is an athletic issue that they're dealing with.
Oh, I've got an idea. Just popped in my head. Why don't we get you to present at the beginning of the school year to the coaches?
I would absolutely love to.
That would be, it's not part of the FHSAA mandate. They're all about concussion protocols and things like that. But I don't think when I was coaching the old days here, I don't think I ever saw anything about nutritional status and warning signs of eating disorders.
Oh yeah, no, it's very important. And you don't really know who has struggled with one. It's a very sensitive subject for a lot of people. And it's something that, believe it or not, it's actually a subject that scares me more to talk about on this platform than the suicide prevention, believe it or not.
Really? Why so?
I don't know. Suicide prevention is easier almost to me.
Really?
I don't know if it's because it's been more broadcasted in society over the last 10 years or so. But I think that eating disorders are very often swept under the rug. Parents don't want to talk about it. It's hard to talk about. It's definitely something, and kids don't know how to talk about it either. Kids don't know how to help their friends. It's a very hard topic.
Wow. John, you catch all that? That's interesting. I didn't really thought of it that way.
I did. You go through all these things, as a young adult.
Yeah.
Sean already identified himself as old. I'm older, unfortunately, but we've all kind of been through a different gamut as prior athletes.
Yeah.
I was part of the track and cross country team. Also ran a couple marathons. Did my thing there. With the current situation, we've kind of, I think, hit the steroids and went up, and now we're kind of on that. I don't want to say swing back down because that sounds too safe.
Right.
But we're on that, oh my gosh, let's identify things.
Right. Yep.
Instead of let's push the envelope, now we're identifying those things and we're having some correction in the process.
Yes.
What do you think it's going to take for the governing bodies to really start cracking down?
Ooh. John, I think it's going to take something that people don't ever want, which in the terms of suicide prevention is how many children we're losing.
Right.
Then when we look at eating disorder, body image advocacy, it's also the children that we're losing.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, it's very deadly as well.
I'm glad you coupled those together, because when we're talking about one, unfortunately, they are married together.
They absolutely are.
And we can do that with a multitude of things out here in our society today. You talked about social media.
Yes.
You're talking about the eating disorders. You're talking about the drugs that are involved in performance enhancing, and the pressures that are put on. And I think that one word of pressure, if we could put that as the caption, this might be a really cool thing to do with a group of athletes and young people, is to put the word pressure up and make them come up with words from P all the way to E.
Yeah.
About how they're interacting, about what's going on in their mindset, what's going on within their experience. Because that word pressure comes in different, it comes at different phases throughout everything you're talking about.
Absolutely.
But it's all about the word pressure.
Yes. And children are so hard on themselves now. Like, it is, like, I have nephews. I don't have my own children yet, but I have nephews. I have cousins. I have young kids that I care about a lot. And how hard they are on themselves sometimes just baffles me. It really does. And I remember feeling that way as a child, but I do not remember feeling that way to the magnitude that these children are. And I really feel as if it's the TikTok, the Snapchat, the Instagram, the growing up way too fast because they're being exposed to so many things and so many mindsets that they shouldn't even be looking at, you know? I don't think our kids are kids anymore. That's
the instant pressure though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the instant side of things. Yeah. So if you're talking now to a lot of athletes,
yes,
take a minute and talk to the parent from now the pressure side of you on what they should do, not to put more pressure on by being that parent who is the pressure parent of excellence.
Yes. So I really just think that parents, and, you know, I sometimes feel bad giving advice to parents because I'm not a parent, but sometimes I feel like I might as well be one. So with all the kids that I love in my life, but honestly, my biggest advice to parents is meet your kids where they are. You know, every child has a unique set of talents, gifts, athletic skills, academic skills, life skills. And no one knows a child better than their parent at the end of the day. That's something for me as a practitioner. Like, when I go into a child and a parent and I'm talking to them and something's going on, I say to the mom, what are you seeing? You know, what are you seeing? Yeah. Even when I was in adult health, the family, when a patient was not capable of giving me an answer themselves, what are you guys seeing? Is there something that's deviating from what they normally do? Because I only see them now. You see them always. You know, and that's one of the biggest things. I feel like parents really need to look for subtle abnormalities in their child's behavior that may indicate that they're under an immense amount of pressure. And if they do see their child under an immense amount of pressure, meet them where they are and really speak to them compassionately and with kindness. That's really it. I know that that's probably cliche for everyone. Like, what kind of advice do I give a parent? But just be kind to your kids. Cultivate their talents. Don't bring them down. Obviously, we don't want kids failing school, and obviously we don't want kids bullying other children. And if those things happen, then we intervene as parents and as adults, and we do the right thing. But kids are already hard on themselves in their own minds. Don't contribute to that. I think
the care organization out of Port Charlotte. I've been doing a show with them for about 7 or 8 years now, and rape prevention, human trafficking, teen dating. We talk about all those things. The words pressure come in that format too. But one of the keys to this whole thing, and I think you're really good at it, because you're taking our questions with a really keen listening ear. I think that is one of the biggest takeaways from just about everything we could talk about, is become a good listener.
That's the biggest thing. You know, I'll segue into something funny. A few weeks ago, I got a call from one of my nephews up in New Jersey. He's like, Aunt Olivia, have to tell you something because you're just like such a good listener. And like, this is what happened in school today. Can you believe it? You know, and he's like so animated and like, and you know, they need an ear. You know, they need people to listen to them. And I'm really glad, John, that you noticed that that's like one of the biggest approaches that I take, not only in my practice as a nurse, but also in my everyday life. I also coach in running as well. And I think that that's something that I really focus on in my coaching. You know, every kid is different. I'm training 2 people for a marathon right now separately, and they are both completely different runners with completely different goals in their minds. And it's really great to kind of really listen to them and fine tune what I need to do for them. And they're adults. But then I also coach kids. And when you coach kids, you have to realize that every kid is different too.
Yep.
You know, and how you have to approach one child, even if they're in the same family, is not the same as you approach the others.
Yep.
So it's really all about understanding and seeking to understand a child or even an adult and just how they view life.
Fantastic. Sean, go ahead, buddy.
Well, I'll just say this topic, you're dead on here, John, with how it just links to all sorts. We could also include next time or some more time nutritional status of their everyday meals, like lunch.
Yep.
Right? Everybody's fun of school lunch as being nutritionally deficit there, and food at home and income levels. It just leads into topic after topic after topic.
We could be on this for hours and speak about everything and anything under the sun when it comes to.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. Can you remind us what that site was, the eating disorder site?
Yes, so it's called the National Eating Disorder Association, or NEDA. I can comment it on the post when you guys do post this.
Oh, please do. That would be wonderful to have that on there.
Have that resource, absolutely.
So let's tie this back to your 5K. You got eating disorders. We got the holidays. We're going to come out the holidays, January 12th. That's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Positive day for all families. Yes. No pressure. You don't have to win.
No pressure. Positive
no pressure.
Vibes, empowerment. We want you to come and have a great time. That's really our goal in this race. Of course, we want to help Move Mountains become more successful than it already is. But we want to make this an event that everyone is looking for on the calendar every year. We want them to look forward to the Move Mountains 5K. We want to move mountains with you. You know, we want to show our youth to how volunteering really positively impacts the community. We want them to maybe join Move Mountains, maybe run the 5K and be like, wow, Move Mountains is an awesome organization. Maybe I'll help out. You know,
and we'll talk some logistics real quick here. When's the last day they can sign up before the shirts are cut off? That's always a big deal.
So shirt cutoff is actually this Friday. So please sign up. And I don't know if anyone watching this is a part of any of our local running groups or running clubs, but we have multiple discounts for Zoomers. We have discounts for Northport runners. We have discounts for Cape Coral running group. If anybody from Cape Coral is on here, we also have special pricing for children. So we really want the whole community to come out and participate with us. It would mean a lot.
Olivia, I have to ask. I have to be negative here for a minute. Did all 10 of those spots get filled discounts on our site?
No, they did not.
Oh, come on, viewers. I was so touched by the fact that you gave us
7 left. We have 7 left for discounts.
Come on, Bobcat fans.
You know what?
7.
Whoever comments Bobcat on this post when it is posted will get a discount.
Fans, I'm disappointed in all you. Shame on you. You are first ever.
I was actually a little disappointed too. I'm like, I would think that.
Oh, I'm going to get on them.
Group, people would want to run.
or walk. A pleasant Sunday morning walk. You can do that.
I have to keep on reminding myself because I'm such a runner. So like when I think 5K, I don't think walk. I think run. You know.
But you know, I gotta give you a shout out, John. She was our first ever freebie of our show. So I thought I'd have been gone in less than 10 minutes.
Well,
my God. We're gonna get on that.
The free entry was gone. That one was gone.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yes. But the discounts, we want to give back to the people that have given back to us. You know, We're very grateful for the support of the community. Nicole and I are both very grateful that you guys have had us on, both of us. we're so grateful for you guys, and we just
we love your organization. They're just I love those kids on that organization.
Yes.
They're just wonderful kids
No,
overall.
some of the
I
most top
can't
tier kids.
sing their praises enough.
Yeah.
I can't speak highly enough of them.
Contact information
for me or the 5?
All the organization.
Okay, so the contact information for the organization, you guys can go on to movemountains.com. We also have a Facebook page where you can contact us. We have the Move Mountains 5K page as well. I will post all of the links to the Bobcat Blitz group, so you guys can also go on there and get that. I will also put my Move Mountains email on the group as well. So if anybody wants to contact me, coaches who are watching this, I know Sean has shared with you my personal phone number. I would give it on here, but don't know how that would go, so I'm not going to do that. So if anybody would like to contact me directly and has any questions, please get in touch with Sean or John. And
I got one more question for you, Olivia.
And they will get back to you.
Are you still taking sponsorships and donations for this?
So we do not have any more sponsorships that will be able to go on the shirts per se.
Okay.
But we still, because the shirt cutoff is December 20th, we have put the order in. However, if you would like to be a sponsor, you guys can still probably be on our banner. You'll still get a social media highlight. We're working on social media highlights for all of our sponsors to get recognized. If you don't mind, if you want to give me a moment, I can actually pull up my list really quickly so we can acknowledge.
Yeah, let's give it. While you're doing that,
let me acknowledge these people and thank them for their sponsorship on here. I think that would be great. So give me one moment.
While you're doing that, Olivia, I do got to mention something, John, Bobcat related. So I forgot to mention this last weekend here, our wrestling team, they went to the Kings Classic at Southwest Florida Christian Academy. Out of 20 teams, your Bobcats came in second place. We got a lot of great showings there. Third place is by Lucas Roberts and Eric Burgess Sample.
Yep.
Second place is by Markel Porter, Devon Young, and Austin Nappy. And first place by Lachlan Harris and Owen Nappy. Owen is on pace here to break all sorts of Northport High School Bobcat wrestling records.
Yeah, no, Owen is a fantastic kid. My cousin's on the wrestling team as well. So shout out to all of them.
Congratulations to Coach Williams on that wonderful performance. So, yes. All right. So who do you have? Who do you want to say thank you to so far for this race?
So let's just go through my list of sponsors. So
okay,
first,
go ahead.
My big list. So Seven Brothers Pest Control, Ethan Traub is actually providing the music for my 5K. So thank you, Ethan, for free. So thank you, Ethan. We have Landis Emergency Training Services. We have Monica Amaya Photography. We have Wildfire Boutique. We have KTR Cooling. We have Luxury Secrets Picnic Events. We have In Memory of John Serrano. We have Abby Kronbush Coldwell Branker Realty. We have Heavenly Home Cleaning. I know that her son goes to Northport High School. We have Frank Miles Consulting. We have Justin Box from Allstate. We have Los Dos Cristianos Coffee, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. We have Lola Blue for all of your soap, bath, and beauty needs. So thank you, Lola Blue. They also will have some soaps in our bags. So
good.
We're very grateful for them. We have Urban Culture. That will be where our packet pickup is. So thank you to Urban Culture. We have the Just Against Kids Drowning Foundation, Paul DeMello. I actually am race directing his 5K in March. So anybody who wants to come out for another great cause, please consider coming to that one as well. We have Hardesty in Hanover. We have Tom Joyce Automotives. We have Maha Head Spa. We have ICG next. We have Quick Draw Quality Pawn in Venice. Actually, that is Jevin Metza's parents, who is a cross-country runner on our
team. And our boosters, our Northport boosters.
So thank you to them. We are very appreciative of their immense support. Scott is actually going to be our rollerblader in our race. He's going to be our lead. So thank you to him for also donating his time for that as well. We have Family Pride Roofing. We have Evolve Chiropractic. We have Kyle Curtis.
Who do you have?
We have everybody.
Good for you.
Me and Nicole rallied. We've got Kyle Curtis Salon and Spa, Executive Auto Glass and Repair, Dovetailed by Design, Mike Kinkin. He's actually doing our shirts. We have Tillman Nurse Consulting.
Yep.
And
Coach
we
Feldman.
also have My Favorite Race events. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Oh, I'm very familiar with them.
But they are actually designing my medals. They look beautiful. So thank you, Amber and Chad. So we really have a great group of people that are supporting us. So the
Olivia,
5K will be very successful.
that for your first ever 5K, you have more sponsors than I have ever seen combined of any race. Good Lord.
We've really tried hard. It's been really great. I'm very grateful, truly. And
excellent.
Honestly, like blown away by the effort of the community, by the grace of the community, and for the community for really giving us a chance. You know, a first time race. It's really awesome. But we need as many runners as we need sponsors, people. So come on.
Yeah. We got to have more runners and sponsors. That's a good ratio there.
We're in the 100s. Well, we'd like to be up to 200. So let's
all
get
right. You hear that? We need at least 100 more, guys. Come on now. Again, you can walk. You can take your grandma with you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to run it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right. So, John, I'm going to leave poor Miss Olivia alone. Let her go back to her studies. She's got to become a doctor on us soon.
You did a great job. Thank you.
Took my final, so I'm done for a little bit.
Good.
Thank goodness.
All right. Olivia, thank you so much. Fans, ask Miss Olivia Bonavento. She is our medical coordinator, medical liaison, as you will. We'll get her back in the springtime for another one of our teen health topics. John, I'm going to say goodbye for the holidays. I'm going to do a real quick little promo. We are going to cover the January 2nd grand reopening of our beloved Morgan Center basketball court. We're past 800 days since our last time we've actually gotten in there to play, so I can't wait. I'm actually going to go out there at 10 o'clock for their little ribbon cutting ceremony. So I want to thank WKTW and John Rongs for letting me come out there for that one. I know a lot of basketball fans have been waiting for this one for over 2 years, so can't wait to see the first bounce, first hoop, whatever you want to call it, on that event. So I'll catch you again on January 2nd.
And
John, you good for now? I'm going to say goodbye
good.
to you guys.
Just happy holidays and be safe to everybody.
Exactly. On behalf of everyone here at the Bobcat Blitz, I'm Sean Kirkpatrick. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care.
Have a blessed day.